What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful fight fans across the world? And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why UFC 310, it's a good pay-per-view. It's actually a pretty decent pay-per-view, but it's just weird, okay? The way the fights are like set up on the card, the way the fights are like, we'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about soon, but let's get into the elephant in the room here, the main event too. We got Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. This is Kai Asakura's first fight ever in the UFC. I'm not saying he can't do it. I don't know if I'm gonna pick him for this fight. I think I have to go with Pantoja for this one. But Kai Asakura, this is his first fight in the UFC. He's fighting for a belt and he's main eventing a pay-per-view. That's just wild in and itself. Okay, that's just crazy. Think about that. Your first fight in the UFC, you're fighting for a belt and you're the main event of a pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view of 2024, a year that's had some solid pay-per-views. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it, but Kai Asakura, you know, that's crazy. Shout out to him. He's getting his bag for his first fight in the UFC, so shout out to him, I guess, for that. But the co-main event, obviously it's amazing. My favorite fighter is going to fight versus Ian Gary. Oh, Ian Gary's a big favorite right now? Oh, shit. I don't know about that one. Coach, but we'll talk about that later. We'll get into that when we do the predictions. But Cyril Gane versus Volkov, great fight. This should be the third fight on the card, definitely. This was supposed to be on UFC 308, but it got moved to this card because I think one of them got injured or something. But great fight. This is where it gets weird. Okay, we got Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie on the fourth fight on the pay-per-view, which makes absolutely no sense. First of all, it has no reason to be up this high on the card, and we'll give some good reasons for that, because Kron Gracie, what? Bryce Mitchell, okay, he can be on the main card, but why is Kron Gracie even getting this fight in the first place? Kron Gracie's last fight was at like UFC 288, I believe, and he just lost to Charles Jourdain, who's like not even close to the rank. I'm pretty sure he's not ranked. He might be ranked now, like 15 or something. But I don't know why. I don't know how Kron Gracie got this fight. I think that Gracie last name is carrying bro to get these fights, because ain't no way in hell he's out here fighting Bryce Mitchell. What did he do to deserve this fight? Okay, what did he do to deserve this fight? And this is not even the highest featherweight fight on this card, which is crazy. And then we got another, like, Nate Landwehr. Okay, I love Nate Landwehr. Nate the Train. I'm on the Nate the Train. Okay, I'm on that Nate the Train. But why is bro on the main card versus Doohoo Choi? Why is this on the main card? Neither of these guys are ranked. Okay, Nate Landwehr, he's entertaining. I get it. But I have no, like, I can't think of why this would be on the main event. This would be great on the prelims. This would be a great setup for the main event. But this has no reason being on the main event. Okay, even though I love Nate the Train. And maybe it's because Doohoo Choi, you know, he's the GOAT. You know, he's the future GOAT of the sport. Maybe it's because Doohoo Choi is carrying this, but I don't know why this is on the main event. We're going to, like, see this now. Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes. I feel like this deserves to be on the main card over those last two fights for sure. For sure. Even Nick Diaz versus Vicente Luque deserves to be over those two fights, in my opinion. Actually, no, maybe not the Bryce, but Kron Gracie, why is he getting that fight? Okay, I'm not going to get over that. Why is he even getting that fight in the first place? But Vicente Luque versus Nick Diaz, that's better than Nate Landwehr versus Doohoo Choi. And then we have Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Okay, this makes sense on the prelims, I guess, because it's a pretty stacked pay-per-view. But even that has more of a reason to be on the main card than Nate the Train. But then Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling to start off the prelims is crazy. This is just shows how much Dana White hates both of these guys. But he's putting them on the early prelims. Aljamain Sterling was a former champion. You know, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Aljamain Sterling. If Aljamain Sterling was on fire, I wouldn't piss on the guy. Let me just say that. But, no, that's wild. That's a wild thing to say. I take that back. I rescind that crash out. But Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev, that deserves to be way high. That deserves to be on the main card. Like, at least he's number 5 and number 9, a former champion, versus a guy that's probably gonna get a title shot after this fight if he wins. If Movsar wins, he's gonna get a title shot. If Aljamain wins, he could be in line for a title shot. But just the fact that this is like so down on the card, I have no like Dana White just hates these guys. Okay, that's the only explanation for this. The UFC just don't like these guys, and I can see why. But even this amount of disrespect, I don't like either of these guys that much. I'm not high up on them that much. But just the fact that they're this low on the card is kind of blasphemous. Okay, it's kind of blasphemous. It's kind of redonkulous. It's brazen. It's brazen. This is a weird card. It's a great card. There's a lot of great fights on this card. I think the prelims are stacked. I think the main card is decent. The main card is low-key weaker than the prelims at some parts. But even the early prelims. Okay, even the early prelims. We got Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. This was supposed to be on the last pay-per-view, I believe. And it got canceled. But we even got Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin in the early prelims. Okay, we got some decent fights. We got some great fights on the early prelims. We got Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. That's a great lightweight fight right there. I want to see where Chase Hooper goes in the division. And then we got Joshua Van versus Cody Durden. Why are these early prelims so amazing? Why are the prelims and the early prelims so amazing? Like, this is low-key a real fight fans. Like, they're going to like this pay-per-view because there's a lot of great cards. I mean, a lot of great fights on this card. And yeah, I don't know these guys. Taliesin Teixeira versus Lucas Bresky. But, the disrespect they're showing to Aljamain and Movsar is crazy. Nate Landwehr and Doo Ho Choi being that. Bro, Bryce Mitchell, both of these fights are in the featherweight division. That's the crazy part. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. Both of these are in the featherweight division. And Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev is starting off the prelims. Number 5 versus number 9 starting off the prelims. That's crazy. Like, even these fights deserve to be on the main card more. Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith deserves to be on the main card way more. Even Vicente Luque versus Nick Diaz. Like, Nick Diaz, he's one of the most famous guys in the sport. Damn, look at those odds though. Damn, I didn't even peep that before. But I think those odds make sense. Okay, I think those make sense. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the main card for this, like, the top 3 fights, amazing. Okay, I'm not complaining about these top 3 fights. I'm not complaining about any of these fights on this card. They're actually all amazing fights. But just the order of these fights, I can't agree with. Okay, it's kind of blasphemous. Okay, we need to get Dana White in check. We need, like, even though you might hate Movsar versus Aljo, they don't deserve this disrespect. They deserve a little bit of respect, okay? It's it's wild. The Dana White, you got to be on Dana White's good side if you're a UFC fighter. Let me just say that, because if you're not, you're going to be shot down to the early prelims when you're on a title contention fight, basically. It's brazy. But let me know down below. What do you guys think? Do you think this fight setup is messed up? Because I think it is. I think it's a weird pay-per-view. It's a great pay-per-view. I think all of these are solid fights, but I think the setup is just odd. I think it could be better. I think maybe he's doing it on purpose to get people to watch the prelims earlier, but I don't know. I don't know what Dana White's doing, but let me know down below. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm dropping videos like this almost every single day. I haven't been consistent lately, but we're going to get back to it. Okay, we're going to get back to it. We just hit 356 subscribers today. We're on the way to 500. Then we're going to hit 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, then 1,000,000. We're not stopping, okay? We coming from the top. We coming for the top. Okay, we're going to be the king of MMA YouTube one day. Just say I was here in the comments, okay? Show you're a real one. Say I was here before Insomnia MMA blows up. But that's it for this one. And I'll see you, beautiful people, in the next one, man.